Don't forget to record it also.
Yep. Just hit record.
Yep, I just see it.
Nobody speak. All right, here we go, folks.
Here we go! Connor relaxed and smiling. Oh! Just slept like that!
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
I don't give a fuck what you say, motherfucker.
Yes! He's done it!
Maverick, we're hit again!
Damn it, Maverick.
I'm on my way.
3, 2, 1. Woo! Splashboard!
You can be my wingman anytime.
This is the Believe in MMA Mavericks podcast.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Mike Straka, along with my co-host Ike Feld. Our co-host Mike Hirata couldn't make it today, but we're joined by strawweight sensation, the beautiful Marina Coffman. Welcome to the show, Marina.
Thank you.
So, big week, huh? Big weekend. UFC 249 right around the corner. It's pretty amazing how long it's been since we've had a fight.
Having withdrawals.
You know how it feels, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know, Marina is a strawweight out of Ohio. Where, Columbus?
Toledo.
Ohio. O-H-I-O. I could do these for days.
You know, it's a shame that Mad Lab couldn't join us today because I just put in my bets on BetOnline.ag for Saturday night, man. I picked some pretty good fighters. I mean, obviously, I picked Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna reveal.
I picked
okay.
Dominic Cruz. I had to. I also picked Justin Gaethje.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Kukui, he's the man, and we all know that. But there's just something about Justin when he hits people. It's like getting hit by a brick.
Yeah, and I think Ferguson, as to steal a quote from Conor McGregor, he is a bit chinny. Like, he likes to turn the fight on as soon as he gets hit. And I think Gaethje doesn't play those games. He's going to chop his calf and he's going to go for the uppercut and overhand.
That's right. Overhand, right. That's my prediction. I also think Cowboy's going to come back strong against Pettis, man.
I forgot about that. I should probably pull this card up, dude. I'm so happy it's stacked.
Marina, what do you think about Cowboy? I think Cowboy's got a lot of pressure to really perform this time.
Yeah, I think especially after like all that shit came out about like how he was saying he didn't want to be in that one fight, you know. I think he feels a lot of pressure too. But I don't know.
I forgot about that. We never talked about that. Yeah, Cowboy was like, yeah, I didn't want to fight 2 days before the fight. It's like, well, you definitely wanted to cash the checks after the fight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I love Cowboy. I've talked to him multiple times, but it's like, dude, don't release that now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought that was weird timing too, but
Cowboy's Cowboy, man. He's we're called Mavericks for a reason, and he's called the Cowboy for a reason. So he's gonna play by his own rules. He always has. Everybody knows that.
One of the guys that just genuinely loves to fight, you know, like he just takes the fights and he goes out there and he fights, and I think that's the best type of athlete, not somebody that just goes out there and plays it safe to win, you know, and he never does that.
Agree. But that's the way he lives his life too. I mean, I've seen him go wakeboarding after weigh-ins. You know, I'm like, who does that? Like, you got to fight tomorrow and you're wakeboarding today. You know, and everybody knows he rides motorcycles, he rides horses, he's got the ranch. He lives his life like that. And so
he lives it like a cowboy. Yeah, I don't think we live ours like Mavericks though. I've never flown a plane, unless Mike, have you flown a private plane of somebody that you banged or that you know as a colleague? Like,
actually, I was in an F-16 after 9/11. I did a story
off the ground.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh!
And I threw up.
What about you, Marina?
No, I've only been in regular airplanes.
Me too. Helicopter for either of you?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Okay, of course. All right, Marina,
Apaches.
this conversation
Apaches.
has left our docks. We're now
Dude.
in Bougieville.
Ike, wait a minute. I got to go back to why do you
I never even
automatically
first class, so.
why do you automatically assume I was banging somebody who owned a private jet?
Because you're
Get
Mike
on the jet.
Straka and you're like the dog that like humps like your leg and you're like, get off me, Chachi.
I don't even know how to take that. Listen,
The coffee hasn't kicked in.
I'm wearing my jujitsu sweatshirt, so that means I'm tough. All right. I'll go get an affliction shirt, dude. I'll go get an affliction t-shirt to put on.
You should have wore a tap out shirt.
I have tap out shirts and I've got affliction t-shirts too.
Oh,
So
God.
don't mess with me.
I'm
You're
gonna
right,
go pull
right.
my
You got-
American Fighter
You
shirt.
got the wings, the affliction wings go
I
like
got the
over
affliction. I live free, no, live fast and die young. That was their motto.
Yeah, that should be Monsters Energy's motto.
Yeah, right.
Marina, do you consume energy drinks? Like, please, I'm not gonna direct you in any way, but
No, just coffee.
same.
Did you have your coffee yet, Marina?
No.
Oh, well, feel
Why you
free
say
to.
it like you're her father or creepy uncle?
I don't
I have
understand
a
how
demo coffee pot, so it takes forever.
Did
asking
Marmar get her sip yet? Did
Wait,
Marmar thirsty?
how did asking Marina if she had a cup of coffee yet sound creepy?
Your inflection was like the kindest Mike Straka I've ever known. Like usually like, hey, you over there? Hey, can you get me this?
Concerned.
Hey, can you
Well,
get me that?
you know what? I have 2 daughters, so I speak to women differently than I speak to douchebags like you.
No.
Fair enough. Oh, but yeah, unfortunately, Mike, Iurado can't join
Urato.
us because Urato.
Urato.
Even when I'm
Urato.
trying.
Urato. Just
Mr. Mad Lab.
speak it phonetically. Just spell it
Urato.
phonetically in your head. Yourahdo.
There's no Y. There's an
Yeah.
I, U, and R, and A,
Right.
T, and O.
Do you know
There's
what
17 vowels in one
Do you know
letter.
what phonetically means?
Yes.
Spell it phonetically. Don't spell it the way in other words, spell it the way it sounds in your head. This way you'll never get it wrong. It's Urato, not Ioratu.
So
He's
Mad
not-
Lab.
He's not a samurai.
But he's got an awesome nickname, so I think we should go by that.
Actually, I liked Ioratu until he said it's Urato. And then how is that Italian? He says it's Italian.
What do
How is
you think?
Urato
it
an
should be,
Italian name? I don't
like
get
Spanish?
it.
Brazilian?
Iaurado. No, he says it's Italian. He says it's Italian.
Marina, I assume you're German.
Scottish.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Scottish.
What did I just see? I just seen King Arthur. Is he Scottish or is Charlie Hunnam Scottish? Or wait, is Guy Ritchie? I confused it. It was a good movie.
No, Guy Ritchie's he's from
He's
Manchester,
Irish?
England. No,
Oh.
he's English. He's a
Charlie,
Brit.
is anybody Irish besides Conor McGregor that's famous?
Yeah. What's his name?
Pierce Brosnan. right?
Yeah, Pierce. No, Pierce Brosnan, I think, is also English.
Wait, maybe he's Scottish.
No, who's the guy?
Marina,
God,
what poster do you have on your wall? Because you're 19. Like who's on your wall that is like
she's
a
not
famous
19. She's 23, dude.
Well, I had Dwayne Johnson on my wall for a really long time.
Wait,
Nice.
Colin Farrell. He's Irish. Colin Farrell.
The guy,
Oh.
you know the guy that did like the Braveheart movie, like that rode the horse.
Mel Gibson?
No, like the guy he's supposed to play.
I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, my dad always tells me that like we're related to him.
Oh,
That's my dad's favorite thing to say, which is probably not really true, but
Like the actual guy in time from like
yeah.
1,000 years ago?
That's
He said
awesome.
he said he did one of those ancestry things, and that's what it came back as. I can't say if it's true or not. Probably
It
not.
showed the actor's face holding a sword. It's like, oh, okay.
it just shows up the movie and the ancestry thing.
Well, if you think about it, maybe that's why you're a fighter. You've got it in your blood.
Took the words out of my
I
mouth.
don't know.
I mean,
I like
what?
to drink and fight, so
How much do you weigh? Like, what do you walk around at? Like
One,
116?
let me guess, 122.
so before my surgery, I would cut to 15 from about 145.
Get the fuck out of here.
Holy shit, that's like Mackenzie Dern.
Oh my God, I did that in college when I wrestled, dude. I weighed 145 and wrestled 118.
What
and
do
it
you
was
write, if you don't mind? What is
brutal.
she right
Right.
now?
But right now, since having my surgery, I don't know why I don't walk around as heavy, and I'm walking around at like 115 right now.
Wow.
Oh, so you could be
Yeah.
atom weight.
Yeah, so I've actually been thinking about dropping down a weight class now.
You
So
would
wait,
be
what
the
surgery,
tallest
if you
person.
don't mind us asking?
What'd you say?
What was your surgery?
Oh, I had to have a hysterectomy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I had bad endometriosis, so I just had to take everything out.
Oh, man.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
back to your genetics though. Yeah, it's definitely in your blood to be
Yeah,
fighting
definitely
and
stellar
drinking.
genetics over here.
It's probably the processed foods. You probably just want to eat like raw bison and the
Yeah, I just
blood
wanna
from
go
the
bite a
skulls
cow.
of your enemies.
Yeah.
Hey, so in about 15 minutes, if he wakes up, Adam Hunter, otherwise known as MMA Roasted, is going to join us. Marina, are you familiar with Adam Hunter?
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine, and
His account's awesome.
he's actually hosting, I think on tomorrow night, or maybe tonight. He's hosting like a online comedy show. He did one last week. I missed it. I was so upset because Randy Couture was on it, and I was like, oh, I love Randy. We all actually last time Marina was on a show, Randy Couture joined us, and I'll tell you, man, Randy, he's still got it, man. He's still got it. He's the coolest dude I know.
Yeah, I fought on his card in Vegas, and I feel like I just keep running into him, like in podcasts and like the weirdest
I can't
places.
believe you didn't mention that to him.
Yeah, I figure he probably didn't even remember. Like they do so many fights and stuff there.
Well, did you
Marina,
win?
that's why you're awesome.
Wait a second. Did you win?
Yeah, in like a
You
minute.
won?
Yeah.
Oh, he would have remembered you. I'm sure he would have.
My post-fight speech was like up there.
Oh yeah,
Really?
what'd you say?
Yeah, here
it was a veteran show, and I think I was the only person that actually thanked the veterans. So.
Oh.
You're like, hey veterans, I want to thank you for absolutely nothing. That commercial's been playing over.
I was gonna say, yep.
Over, but I'm happy it's on ESPN. Like
ESPN is milking that soundbite for all it's worth.
Dude, they're gonna be milking this UFC event. Like this is like a culmination of like eclipses and volcanoes and earthquakes. Like the UFC is gonna be, I believe, the first live sporting event in America. I mean, I know Chael's got his submission undergrounds, but on the ESPN platform, dude, they should just pump this up. They should have made the whole card free.
I agree. I was just gonna say that.
Fucking pay-per-view.
Paywall.
Just this is where you get everybody in.
Go to watch it to like Buffalo Wild Wings or anything anymore. Like you can't even go watch it.
That you know what? And I refuse to get an ESPN Plus account. I just do.
I know you asked your co-host for logins.
I didn't ask my co-host for a login, did I?
Well, somebody sent it to you.
Oh, well, yeah. I gotta check my emails because I'm definitely gonna use your login for this one.
Son of a bitch. Well,
and I still gotta pay $6.
It's gonna be the first card that nobody backs out of too. Like it's gonna be the first one that's like the full card.
Good point.
Well,
and look at the freaking early prelim, the early prelims. It's Vincent Luque versus Nico Price. Like that's like
I picked Nico.
I like Nico too.
Luque
is a hell of a warrior, dude. They just filled the card with warriors. That's
dude.
Why
Who isn't a warrior on this card? I mean, yeah. Sorry, that's what you were just saying. Yeah, but I was gonna also.
Hardy can probably be taken off the list as a warrior.
That's true. Unless
Mad Lab, who's not on this episode, would have destroyed Greg Hardy if we had him as a guest or an interview, or if he was on this podcast. He does not like Greg Hardy. I've interviewed him face to face, and it's like you're in that weird spot. You're like, is it the past? Like, can we forget? Like, he hasn't screwed up again. But it's like to somebody's face, I might be like, dude, I'm never gonna forgive you for this. It's a tough spot because I kind of cowered it out. I wanted to ask him about it, but
well, yeah, I mean, I had to ask Ken Shamrock about steroids in a hotel room, you know, that had 3 camera guys that I'd never met before.
Back then, steroids probably it's bad too, but like DV, domestic violence, is like, it's
no. My point is, I understand what you're talking about when you're in the room with the fighter. And you want to ask those questions, and you're just like, am I going to get my ass kicked? I mean, I train, but there's no way I'm going to fucking fight Ken Shamrock. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the outcome of that.
I mean, it was like, I'm not like Marina Coffman. I don't get in a cage.
Marina, your thoughts on Greg Hardy? Just get it out now, and we'll know your stance.
I think he's a coward. I think he's a coward, and I can't wait to watch him get his ass handed to him.
You said it like a Scottish warrior too. You're like, I think he's a coward. When's your next fight? When are you trying to get back in there?
I hope
Summer,
like
fall?
I hope July. I hope.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, if they had a card like around me that they said was like for sure gonna happen sooner, I'd be on it.
Do you ever think of a career in broadcasting?
I don't know about broadcasting, but like I've always really wanted to be involved in like the whole MMA scene. Like I recently went to Florida and I had a friend that was fighting on the Titan card there, and just watching them like do all the behind the scenes stuff with the fighting and like the stuff they do with the fighters and whatnot. I thought that was all really cool. So I think if I ever didn't fight anymore, I'd want to get involved somehow in like the promoting and stuff.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Have you ever met Shannon Knapp?
Oh no, I would love to. I'm friends with her on Facebook.
Dude, that'd be so sick if you got into Invicta, still drinking the coffee.
Well, this is
Hey,
his
Ike.
coffee.
Hey, Ike, have you had your coffee yet?
No, I'm working on it. It just
Was that creepy enough for you?
Nicely done, Mike. That's why you are the black belt broadcast professional.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
I've gone from the top of the heap to the Mavericks podcast.
Ikey, did you get your caffeine? Ikey.
Wow, you are so weird, dude.
Dude, I had I'm going back to the city today. My wife's got an appointment for the
Lamaze class?
sonogram, and like we find out everything.
All right, don't have a fucking gender reveal party.
No.
Thank
I got a
God.
whole take on that.
Oh
But
my God. Marina,
what
what's
was
your
it? This
take
is
on
my
gender reveal parties?
last day in paradise, dude. I've been fucking drinking like a
I
Scottish
don't
man.
know. I didn't have any. I have a daughter, and I didn't have any of that with
You
her.
have a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't lie about the surgery. It's because you were pregnant. No.
Well, yeah. After.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she's 4, so
Oh, what's her name?
Kinsley.
Kinsley.
Oh, Kinsley. She comes from a good kin.
Is that a Scottish name?
It has Scottish root.
Cool.
Speaking of roots, when are you going to re-dye your hair?
Oh my God, I know. Coming out.
I just heard that joke. Somebody's like, "Man, all the women in my neighborhood who I thought were blonde."
Yeah. I'm actually blonde, but every time my roots come in, I look like I'm not blonde.
Is this called platinum? Platinum blonde? Right?
No, I'm not this blonde. Definitely not.
Is this
A lot of
the
bleach.
Game of Thrones blonde?
Ooh, Daenerys.
That's a wig.
I was a big fan of Daenerys.
Oh.
Amelia Clark. There's 2 British actresses I'm infatuated with. Amelia Clark is one of them, and Lily Collins is the other one. You guys know who Lily Collins is?
No.
Mm-mm.
Is she from like Gone with the Wind?
No. She's like Marina's age. She's like 25, 26. She's
Lindsay Collins.
I'm trying to think, what was the name of the movie she did?
Oh,
Mirror Mirror. You ever see Mirror Mirror? It's kind of like a
no. Is that on Disney
story.
Plus?
Probably. It's a good movie though. It was directed by a Bollywood director. It was a really good movie.
Bollywood.
And Armie Hammer was in that film too.
No,
I watched that movie about 80 times with my daughters. They couldn't get enough of it. Anyhow,
you guys see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I just seen it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. What does that mean?
I was disappointed. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Hateful Eight, but for Tarantino,
Hateful Eight was bad.
For Tarantino, though, I mean, he peaked really early, man. He peaked with Pulp Fiction back in 1994. Now, what's he doing now? Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
I mean, Django was good. I like Django.
I like Django too.
Den of Thieves is a good one.
Oh yeah?
What?
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, I know. I'll check it out. Den of Thieves.
Oh, is that with Max Holloway?
Mm-mm.
Michael Bisping at the end of the movie?
Maybe.
Yes, I think Bisping is it. Hey, another one
Marina,
that I like.
You got to watch more movies sober.
I only watch it because Pablo's in it and he's all jacked and shirtless the whole time.
Pablo.
Who's
Pablo
Pablo?
Schreiber.
Ooh, I got to look that dude up. I never heard of him.
All right, so all the Spanish guys just woke up.
No, he's not. You think he would be?
Wait, Pablo, what?
I know. I looked up. I was trying to figure out what his name was, and it kept coming up Pablo. I'm like, there's no fucking way this white dude's name's Pablo. Sure enough, his name's Pablo.
That's like when I met this white dude named Jerome, and I met this other white dude named Jackson. I was like, what's wrong with you guys? I go, not that there's anything wrong with What's his name?
All right, I got it.
Pablo Schreiber.
Oh, he's Jewish.
I don't know. I don't know. Is he smoking?
Does he smoke camels?
Oh, wait, what else was he in?
He was in. He used to be in like SVU when he was younger and stuff. Like he was that creepy serial killer.
Oh yeah,
The ending was awesome in that movie.
He kind
He
of
was
looks like
on
what's that guy?
He was in 13 Hours. Shit.
He was
I
in
didn't recognize
American
him.
Gods. That's why you like him, because he was in American Gods.
No, I just like him because of Den of Thieves.
Yeah, he was a good villain in that. Oh, wait, was that with the guy from 300?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just saw 300 again. It's like I've been begging my wife to watch it again. She's like, "We've seen it 3 times." I go, "It's the best fucking action movie."
Well, which brother? Which Hemsworth plays Thor?
Chris.
Chris.
Chris? Yeah.
Wait,
I just
Liam?
No, Chris.
No, I'm
Liam's married
confused.
to Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw a movie with him on Netflix. This is a good one for you, Marina. It's
Oh,
called
the new action one? Like the latest
Extraction.
one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
I
thing
haven't
looks
seen
sick.
it yet.
It looks
It's
sick.
really good. I watched it twice in a row. Like that's how much I liked it.
Dude,
it was
I'm so happy Netflix's studio. Like I'm so happy it's like under
They've
their
had
hood.
Den of Thieves on Netflix, and I've watched it 3 times already.
Have they been like uploading or whoops?
Yeah, it seems like they've been putting a lot of new movies and stuff on there since it seems like people can't go out and see movies. It seems like they're putting stuff on there now.
It's smart. It's like, you motherfuckers, why are you holding back on all this good
Yeah,
content?
I know all the good stuff.
I know. It's like I'm seeing movies like Denzel Washington movies that nobody heard about. I'm like, I'll check it out
Like
because
which
it's Denzel.
one?
Like a Deja Vu. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
typically watch it, but if it's free on Netflix, I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay.
nothing's free on Netflix.
True. Were you guys grandfathered in? Did you guys get the $8.99 plan? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Does
I've been
anybody have a
doing
4K TV yet? Not me.
Dude,
No.
not me. They're not even filming in 4K yet. So what's the use?
I heard Narcos is the only thing they did in full 4K. Did
What,
you guys
the,
see
the Mexico one?
Narcos? Yeah. Yes, I think
Huh.
the later seasons.
That's Michael Pena. Great act. I just watched End of Watch again yesterday.
Oh my god, that was
Wasn't
so sad.
Oh, I know.
I can't watch it. Every guy in my family's a cop, so it's like every time I have an uncle that died in the line of duty. So every
Oh,
time I watch it,
man.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was a good
I hate the
movie.
bad guys in that movie.
I know.
They're
I hate the scene where that girl's getting beat up by that huge Mexican dude. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, wait, the girl who was like one of the
She's a cop.
banditos.
Like
Oh,
the
no,
cop,
Oh!
and
I
she's-
thought the evil girl.
No, you're thinking of the evil girl from the Curbside Gang. Puto,
Yeah,
Curbside Gang,
that Lola
putos.
girl with the lip liner.
Yeah,
The
But she was
details we
like-
remember.
yeah.
But Marina, so you have who's the closest to you as a cop? Is your father, your brother?
Probably my dad. He was a cop. He's not anymore.
Awesome. Retired, obviously?
Yeah.
Nice. 20, 25 years?
Yeah, I think, about
In
25.
In Toledo?
No, he used to be a cop in Clyde.
Clyde?
Yeah, it's like by more like the Cedar Point area
Is
of
that like a
Ohio.
lower income neighborhood?
What does that have to do with
Kinda.
anything? Like,
No, because that could I could judge like was he like dealing with assholes on a
stop.
daily basis, or was he
Oh,
dealing with
because-
traffic lights?
because lower income people are assholes? What are you talking about?
Well,
Like, just stick to
okay.
MMA.
Rewind.
Don't get us banned.
Typically in lower income
Listen,
neighborhoods.
moving on to UFC 249. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Ike.
He's judging you.
So I'm just thinking Gaethje's gonna win because it typically happens like this. Like we're never gonna see this fight Ferguson Khabib ever. Like when 20 years from now, this is gonna be like the what if type of fight. I think it's gonna be Gaethje Khabib. Gaethje Khabib might not even happen. If Gaethje wins, Conor could get a big win over the summer and slide in to fight Khabib in the rematch. George St. Pierre could be there in the fall.
Do you
I don't
think
think
George
we're
is
ever
coming
gonna
back? I don't think George is coming back.
No.
If Khabib pushes for it, yes. And if he beats Connor again, or if he beats
I don't think
Gaethje
Khabib would
Ferguson.
push for it. First of
I
all,
mean,
Ali.
he respects the shit out of him.
Yeah, Khabib is, Ali is Khabib's manager. Ali's also, you know, a Renzo Gracie team through and through, and George St. Pierre is team Renzo Gracie. I mean, every time I'm in the academy, George is there. Not every time, but a lot. So there's no way Ali pushes for a fight with Khabib and George, no matter what the money is. They're teammates, dude.
I don't know. I think it'd be like an old school type of samurai throwdown where it's like the old versus the new. The respect would be there. The
If those
build
two
up on
fought, it would be a wrestling match.
Yeah, it would be. It
And
would
that's
be.
it.
And
It
what's
would
wrong
be.
with that?
It would be a hump fest.
Yeah, it would be who takes who down and who gets on top and who stays there.
Yep. Exactly
All
right.
right, Marina. You act like you don't use some of the
I
wrestling
have
and
PTSD from being taken down so much. I don't like it. I just want to stay standing.
but I just watched on the Instagram today to see if I could find anything. The highlight clips, the little circles.
Yeah.
You got pretty good takedown offense for like a long, gangly Anderson Silva like type of fighter.
I have good like defense and good jujitsu. The girls I fight are just better. They usually can't submit me, but obviously I'm a Muay Thai fighter, so I just want to kick you. And the second I kick them, they're willing to eat it to grab it and take me down. So.
Well, I just discovered that Marina is actually 5'6". I thought you were smaller.
No.
So
I think you
you're big for
guys
that
are
weight
like
class.
similar heights, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's probably taller than me.
I'm like 5'6". I think most of the girls I fight are about 5 foot, so I look like a giant.
The gears started rolling in my head. I was like, we need to get Mike and Marina to do a little sparring session. I think that would be awesome once Mike gets in shape for a couple 2-minute rounds.
Shut your pie hole.
Marina, you think you'd win?
Oh yeah.
Against me?
Well, remember, Mike's got like 60 pounds on you, at least.
The smallest guy in my gym has 60 pounds on me.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
would you let Mike kick you too? Because he's got a powerful kick. Don't be fooled by
I'm gonna be low kicks for dinner.
anything.
Listen, I'm a former 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I stopped doing Taekwondo in the 90s, and I switched to Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu. I've been around longer than you've been alive, young lady.
Marina, have you seen the Frankie Edgar sparring session with Mike
Stop
Straka?
it. That doesn't count.
I don't think I have, but I might have to check
that's-
it out now so I can size him up.
That doesn't count at all. I mean,
He was doing wheel kicks. Like, he surprised Frankie Edgar.
do you
And,
think
like,
I was gonna, if I tried to hit Frankie, like that would be my luck too. I would probably break his knee by accident, and that would suck.
And end his career.
Yeah, that would be Mike Straka ruined Frankie, one of the greatest fighters in UFC because he tried to prove himself in a sparring competition, in a sparring match with him. That would have been the end of me.
yeah, Dana White
Or
wouldn't
the
have been happy.
beginning.
Or the beginning. True. I like
see
how
how
you
she
think, Marina.
thinks?
Adam Hunter is on the line. Adam, I hear your baby.
What's up, man?
I
What's
think
up,
that's my
brother?
baby.
Oh, that's your baby? That's
Yeah.
Kinsley?
Yes.
So, Adam, you're on with Marina Coffman, Ike Feldman.
Oh, Adam got back into the club. They allowed him to open up.
Is that a green screen?
Yes.
Nice. Well
How's it
done.
going?
Well done. Look at you. You're all professional. When are you doing your next comedy routine on Zoom?
Friday night.
All right, I'll be there. I missed the last one. I was so disappointed when I saw you posted it, and I'm just like, how the hell did I miss that?
Yeah.
Where did you advertise? Where did you promote it? On your Twitter?
Just Zoom and Facebook, Twitter, and I just DM people or just email people. The problem is now there's like a thing called Zoom bombers. Have you heard of this?
Yeah,
And
I
they just
have.
come and like yell the N-word and just crazy, So I had to like be more selective with who I tell.
Oh, I see.
But it
Yeah.
was cool. We
Yeah,
had
don't pick the guy with the white hood, Adam. That's a bad profile
that
picture.
guy. Yeah. Colby Covington was out, and no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was cool seeing Randy there. I was like, his girlfriend was there, but she couldn't get a babysitter for herself. And then,
Is she older or younger than Marina? Marina's 23.
24.
She's a little older, but they look about the same. She looks really young.
We had Randy on the show a couple weeks ago with Marina, and I said, "Hey, Randy, don't ask Marina for her phone number."
I know, that's crazy. And then it was cool though. It was cool seeing Randy, and then
Randy was like this towards the screen. He was like, "Yeah." He's like,
Oh my
yeah.
God! And then also Adam, we had our co-host who's not on the show, Mike Urata. We call him Mad Lab. He's a fantasy sports guy, and his girlfriend once in a while would walk behind him on his Zoom, and Randy would be like this.
Oh, no way, really?
I swear to God, it was so funny.
Hilarious.
Hey, you know what? If you think about Randy's career, the testosterone he must have had to fight till 45 years old. He must have like a surplus of testosterone. Every girl he's probably
He
every
keeps
girl.
it somewhere like a camel.
Yeah, exactly.
He
He
keeps
stores
it all
it.
stored up.
Yep.
Is that this week's fun fact? Camels have extra semen.
Sperm.
What?
You can say sperm. It's okay.
But Mike, your friend that was on last week on the show hired me to do a private show for him and his girlfriend or him and his wife.
Who?
Your
Pat
buddy.
LaFrida?
Yeah, your buddy.
Private show? What type of weird
was-
Illuminati shit are we
No, it
doing
was
here?
his wife's birthday.
So
They have a new baby. He was a real nice guy.
The butcher?
What? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Pat LaFrida.
Yeah, Pat. Right. I did a show just for him and his wife. Just,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but how hard is that to actually do a stand-up routine for two people
On Zoom.
Here's the
on
dildo
Zoom.
going in my ass.
on
Yeah,
Zoom?
yeah.
What? You need to stop drinking caffeine
No,
today.
I could see Adam doing a lot of things for money.
Yeah, me too, actually.
These are hard times.
Of course.
Yeah, Ike, you're on fire today, Ike. No joke.
So do you want to hear the clip that I got for you?
Oh yeah, I'm interested in hearing this clip. This, by the way, is Triple C talking about Dominic Cruz yesterday on the media conference call. Check this out.
I came back and I beat one of the greatest of all time as Demetrius.
And I'm about to come back and smash just a little turd who thinks he's better than he is. You're a 25er, and I'm going to prove it.
You can try, princess. You could try. Try not to break it now, Dominic.
We heard that already. You keep saying the same thing, nerd.
Exactly. Because you're brittle and you break everything.
Did you just come off of the surgery? Does that make you brittle? You're an idiot.
Listen, you're not going to win a debate with Dominic Cruz if you're Henry Cejudo. It just doesn't. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, no. I mean, Dominic is one of the best trash talkers in the game because number one, he's so honest, and he's also mean, and
He's also smart.
And he's also very calm when he says it too, which is even more powerful.
Yeah, and that's just not Henry's game, you know.
Well, Henry can't
he's
even
the dude
tweet.
who wears fucking crowns and throws snakes on stages.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, but the thing about Henry is like he doesn't need to talk. He's that good. You know, he's a gold medalist, and I think if he just talked less, he'd be loved more. You know,
I agree with that.
but
Because he makes Donald Trump look like Albert Einstein on Twitter.
he's just not good at that. I mean, his coach hit me up yesterday. Was like, "Hey, you got any sound bites for me about Cruz?" I did a whole thing with his coach, and I like his coach a lot, Eric. He's a great coach. I think he's the most underrated coach. I mean, if you think about who he has Henry
Paulo Costa,
brothers. He has Paulo Costa. I mean, he's got like just amazing guys. He has the Korean Zombie.
Where is he? Is he in California?
No, he's in
Arizona.
He's in Arizona.
Okay.
And he took a lot of the Crouch guys too. A lot of the Crouch guys left
The lab.
there and went over there. He's great. And the coach actually is pretty good at trash talking because he's almost like a larger than life character. They got the glasses and he's kind of funny. He kind of reminds you of like a WWE manager in some ways from back in the day. So just let him do it. You know, it's like if I was Henry, I would just defer to him.
Yeah, exactly. Just like who was that? The mouth from the South. What was his
Jimmy
name?
Hart.
Jimmy Hart, man. He was the best. I loved him, man. Those were the days of I haven't watched wrestling in years, but when Ted DiBiase and all those guys from when they did the shows in Atlanta, that was cool, man.
Well, when Ted DiBiase came out, I remember they used to have these promos, and it was like, first of all, he had like Virgil, he had like a slave. Like it was like the most racist shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Like how did no one even like point that out? You know?
Well, and the Junkyard Dog, he came out there with the fucking chain on his neck, and they would lead him out into the ring.
It was horrible. But some of the promos Ted DiBiase did was like like I remember there was all these people in like a pool, a public pool, and then Ted DiBiase came out, and then you see him just paying off the pool guys, and then you just see him in the pool, and everybody's like outside trying to get in. It was like the biggest jerk ass I've ever seen in my life. But it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. So
yeah.
Are you in the bathroom right now?
Straka? Me? No.
Yeah. Oh, looks like
I'm in a living room area.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, I need to get a green screen. We're waiting for green screens to come in, actually. Then we're going to do a probably similar background to what you have. It's the easiest one. My problem is I don't have a good lighting kit yet. So
no, you don't need a green screen for Zoom.
Yeah, but I'm on a MacBook Air, and when I tried to put a back screen on it, it said that I don't have enough processing power.
Ah, damn.
So, and I'm not going to upgrade my computer for a fucking background.
Yeah. Totally.
Especially when, my luck, as soon as I do that, the Zoom bombers will come in and start yelling the N-word.
Horrible. Just so that, like, sometimes like I'll watch TV and they talk about like, racism, like, and I'm like, is it really as bad? And then I go on Zoom, I'm like, it's worse. Actually, it's fucking worse with the Zoom bombers. I was completely wrong. It was just fucking horrible.
Cody
Marina,
Garbrandt.
Oh, what was that?
Marina. So what's her? She's a pro. She's undefeated. What's her deal?
She's an Ammy.
Not Amy, and I'm not undefeated.
She's 6-3, right?
4-5.
4-5. Yeah, she's
So
an amateur.
Still kick your ass at him.
I'm sure she would. It seemed like I could probably like it. What's your? When are you going pro?
Probably within like another year, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
She lives in Toledo, Ohio, so
Yeah.
You fight King of the Cage a lot, right?
One time I have, yeah.
Did you win?
And then I fought for Tough Enough.
Stay away from sparring with Adam though. He lets Roxanne Modafar do triangle chokes to her. Nonstop. It was gross. Whatever you said last episode was just gross.
I didn't say that.
Hey, did Julie? You guys know who Julie Kedzie is, right?
Yes.
She was in Russia at a fight, and she said she had somebody in a triangle choke, and she accidentally shat herself.
It's like Yoel Romero.
So and it gets even worse. She said, so suddenly after the fight, she goes, I couldn't wait to go get cleaned up. And she said that they were all whisked away into some van, and all she could smell is herself. And they were taken to the Kremlin for like a private dinner. And she was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Jeez.
God.
Yeah, no, you got to ask her that. Ask Julie Kedzie that story one day. It's just, it's remarkable.
How much did they charge her for that?
I don't know. They probably docked her show money.
Fuck.
Have you guys ever shit yourself?
At a wrestling match, yeah, a couple times probably.
I've gambled with a fart and lost once or twice.
Oh, I was in traffic, man. Mud butt.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
I woke up at 7 a.m. for this.
I know, right?
There's no fight. Wait, are there fights? Oh yeah, there are fights.
There's like
right, so
20
Adam,
fights.
Adam, we were giving our picks earlier. I'm taking Cruz.
Dude, I'm doing Cruz Gaethje. Spoil the party.
I'm doing Gaethje also.
I mean, look, who I want to win is Dominic Cruz. Being 41, it's like, how do you,
He's not 41.
No, me being 41.
Oh.
Fucking rooting for the older guy, the guy but based on like last performances, I mean, come on. It looks like Cejudo's on a different level right now.
Dude, that Marlon Moraes, that third round comeback with the knees, that put him on a new level. And I agree with you that it is annoying, the promotional side of things. Like he should be prompted up a lot more for what he's done in the cage, but you can't deny what he's done in the cage.
What about knocking out TJ Dillashaw in one round, who's fucking Lance Armstrong's pharmacist?
Yeah.
I mean,
he almost did it too easy that we forget about it.
I mean, you know,
it was like 26, 30 seconds. He almost did it too easy that we forget about it.
I guess the thing that really hurts Henry Cejudo's, like, I guess
Henry
his
Cejudo
career is Henry Cejudo. Like, if he would just shut up, like you said, Adam, he would be so much. I would care more about him. I don't give a shit
if
about
he
him.
shut up, people wouldn't care about him.
Well,
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the thing.
there's the argument too.
And it's like almost like he's unintentionally being a villain. That so you're like, you know what? Maybe this is the road to go.
But he doesn't come across as bright, though. That's the thing. Look, everybody cares about Francis Ngannou, and you never even has he even said 20 words in the last 2 years?
Yeah, but it's different though. When you're knocking people into like next week, I mean, Overeem's head is still flying from that fight. I mean, you don't have to say anything when you're doing that. I mean, you could even have performances like he did against the Black Beast, and people will forget about it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, you know, Rosenstruck's no joke though. He's got a tough fight.
He's a nice guy too. He came to my show, Ngannou, and he didn't speak English that well back then, and I was making fun of him. I'm like, look at you, you came here.
You were an Uber driver.
Yeah. I gave him the whole thing, and he was such a nice guy afterwards. He put me in a headlock, fucking, he's a. I mean, but you look at him and you're like, I've never seen a heavyweight with like 5% body fat before. I mean, because like, you know, I sit next to
except for Matt Mitrione.
No, I mean seriously, Heath Herring was the biggest guy I've ever stood next to. But you look at guys like Frank Mir, Josh Barnett, they're huge guys, but they also, I wouldn't say have the dad bod, but they have, but this dude looks like he's 135 pounds.
Telling you, man. Next 5 years, 10 years, you're gonna get the kids who want to fight for a living. Like instead of playing
like that
football, basketball, like imagine Russell Westbrook or a Michael Jordan, even Michael Jordan, like just a ripped light heavyweight who's 6'5", who's got great balance, great hips. Like that's what you got in Ngannou, and he's just killing.
No, you're not gonna see that based on fucking the payroll. If you can go to the NFL and make $50 million.
That comes back to the original argument. These guys need to get paid more, man. Ngannou should be making $5 million a fight.
If he was a boxer, you'd make it $10 million.
True.
That's
true. He wouldn't be having to do State Farm or some or what is he doing? Like Metro PCS. He's doing some commercials.
Then he would also fight once every 5 years. That's the payoff. It's like, you'll make
that's
$10
right
million,
too.
but we'll never see him fight, and he won't fight the best guys. I mean,
by the way, that Metro PCS was the worst the worst service ever. And that was like such a.
That? I don't know anybody that has that.
Marina's got it.
It
Marina's
sucks.
definitely.
It's like a drug dealer burner phone.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It was that, and those commercials were fucking. Wait, nothing was worse though than Stephen Thompson and Dominic Cruz's commercial for what was that? The clothing company with the stretchy jeans.
No, it wasn't Dominic. It was TJ.
Oh my god, that was terrible, man.
The stretchy jeans. It was stretchy like work pants, and they're doing like Matrix things in the office.
Oh my god, that was the gayest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The best commercial no one ever sees is the one with what's his name? The guy that break dances, that threw his shoulder out, lost his last couple fights. You know what I'm talking about? Michel
Pereira.
No, not him, but like him, the guy that like got knocked out by He got knocked out. He was like on the next level, and then afterwards he celebrated and threw out his shoulder. He got knocked out by
Johnny Walker. Johnny
Walker has a condom commercial.
Oh my god!
It's only in Portuguese, and it's on Fight Pass. You got to see this thing.
Fight Pass. Dude, I'm gonna grab that for next week. You think? Are we allowed to play that on the Zoom?
Yeah, but why not?
They buried it somewhere, but it is the funniest commercial you've ever seen in your life. It's so to the point. And you're watching, what the fuck am I watching? And then the guy's laughing. That commentator was laughing afterwards. I actually wrote a
Johnny Walker.
Yeah, I actually wrote a commercial for the PFL that was a pretty good commercial, but it only aired on PFL. It was a Geico commercial, where they have those funny Geico commercials. I had Sean, the guy who won it, Sean O'Connell.
Oh, Sean O'Malley.
O'Connell.
I had Sean O'Connell fight himself.
Oh, right. Yes.
And interview himself. And then I wanted to have him as a ring girl. And then the announcer was like, Sean O'Connell just fucking, but they didn't have him be the ring girl. It was he wouldn't do it.
There should be ring boys.
There is.
In all honesty,
there is.
I know in Invicta, Theodoro, he does it, but I think he does it for publicity and he works for Perk Plus. But I think for every woman's fight, there should be a ring boy, and for every
that Elias there, bro, he got a lot of heat for that. But I like that kid.
Yeah, that takes balls.
He's got a good sense of humor. He's a decent fighter. He's a good looking guy.
UFC let him go after a winning record too.
But he gets it. He gets
9 out of 10. It wasn't a winning record. He won. I mean, it was 8 out of 10. He had it was 8-2 in the UFC and won the Ultimate Fighter Canada.
And they're like, bye.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have an autocracy.
Well, I think the marijuana thing didn't help. He wanted to be the first fighter to be sponsored by marijuana or something. And
come on. It's better than having a big Condom Depot logo on your ass.
I agree. I mean, I'm the first one to be like, you guys keeping guys on 3 fights losing streaks and then cut a guy who's 8-1 because look, he doesn't have the skill set to knock people out. He has to win the best way he can, which is to grind the fuck out of people. And people are like, well, it's not entertaining. Well, you know what?
People like Marina. She hates wrestling matches. I'm like, jiu-jitsu versus wrestling or strong wrestling? I'm like,
I like to watch him. I just don't like to be on the bottom.
But
okay.
So she's a top.
Fucking yeah.
When I can.
Insert 9 misogynistic fucking comments. But no, but it's but it's like saying to the fucking San Antonio Spurs, right? Remember how boring their defense was? They would
I hate them. They were too fundamental.
Imagine the NBA was you can't make the playoffs.
Right.
But
that's a good point.
but you were 112 this year, but you know what? Nobody wants to watch you guys.
No, you guys pass the ball too much. Nobody's dunking.
So we're gonna throw in the Knicks, but the Knicks only won 20 games. Yeah, but people like them. I mean, can you imagine how fucking wacky?
Do you guys know the whole story behind Colby Covington? I think he beat Dong Young Kim, and this was a whole behind the scenes thing. They told him, they go, you're killing our up and comers. You're just wrestling them to the floor. We can't sell you. You need to do something. And it was before the Damian Maia fight. And this is how the story goes. And then we saw what he did against Damian Maia. And then he goes, Brazil, you're a bunch of animals, filthy this. Yeah. But they were going to release him because he was stopping people.
Colby says, but you have to take, I love Colby.
I think Usman said the same thing. His wrestling was too strong that he was stopping some people that might be more exciting.
I talked to Sean Shelby about that though, right? And in the contract those guys sign, they can't cut you after a loss. So
didn't Elias Theodoro?
He was a free agent or something. He didn't get cut. It was one of those things that didn't. The only person that ever got cut. Oh, they can't cut you after a win.
Elias won. Oh no. He did lose his last UFC.
It was one of those things. The only person that they did that was with Mike Jackson, who beat CM Punk.
Yep.
I think that was the one thing where they cut him after a win.
Because they thought he was showboating against CM Punk. It's let him get his moment.
But that's what happens when you sign a guy like CM Punk, right? It opens up a whole can of worms of now we have to bring on people that aren't UFC ready, are not UFC caliber, just to fight you. And now what do we do? Do we then keep you because we signed you?
Did you guys want Lesnar versus Cormier? I did.
Why?
Because Cormier would get the payday and it'd be a hell of a promotion.
I mean, people say that, but how struggling is Daniel Cormier right now?
I was going to say, Daniel Cormier is not struggling. First of all, he's got one of the smartest managers in Dwayne Zinkin. If you look at Luke Rockhold, for crying out, he's set for life. Anybody who has Dwayne Zinkin as a manager is set. I've never seen anything
John
like
Jones
it.
Twice too. I mean, those were huge paydays. I mean, I don't understand people I want to give him a payday, but what? So he's he's now worth 20 million and not 18.
The casual fan would learn about him too, because I think he's a great guy.
Who, Cormier?
Yeah, I think that would give him a bigger stage.
Are you kidding me? People know him just from commentating now.
My mother doesn't really know about him.
He is a great guy, and I wrote the All About the Cake video and convinced him to do it. So
The thing where he's chowing down on the cupcakes.
Yeah, that was me.
I've only seen the GIF. I never knew like the origin or where that came from. John Jones
From
made
MMA,
fun of that
from
shit.
MMA, yeah, the award show, right?
The award show. I was like, hey, will you do this video or you dance around like cake? He was like, Adam, I'll do it. And then afterwards he leaves going, what the fuck was that? Right? 'Cause I wasn't there on the shoot, but I wrote it and convinced him. And then next thing I know, it's got like 100 million fucking hits. And he's like, what? He's dancing around the cake. And
Yeah, he does the yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I understand. The Brock Lesnar Cormier thing. Listen, the Brock Lesnar Mark Hunt did a lot of service for Brock Lesnar because he was able to avoid Mark Hunt.
Dude, people forget it, Manda. He wasn't even the main event that fight.
But people also forget that like the fights before that, he ran away from Overeem and Cain Velasquez. I mean, literally ran away from him in the cage.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a good sign. So
And he tested positive after the Mark Hunt fight. But he won though. He won.
But also, he also had diverticulitis when he was running away from Alistair Overeem.
Ooh, there you go, Adam.
Yeah, and Overeem was on like 80-1 TRT. So
Yeah.
I get
Well, no,
it.
I was going to say that there's another fighter who's a heavyweight with 0% body fat.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the biggest dudes I've ever stood next to. I've stood next to Brock Lesnar too, and that guy is a monster. But Overeem is just scary, man.
Dude, Vitor's coming back. 1FC, man. He's gonna be huge.
Well, no, they're trying to make Vitor versus Vanderlei in bare knuckle boxing.
Oh my God, that's a fucking
Somebody's
murder.
gonna die.
That's a
Somebody's
murder.
gonna die.
That's murder.
You wouldn't watch it?
No way, dude.
Not live.
I haven't.
Whatever. You would watch it.
No, I wouldn't.
You would wait for the highlights on YouTube and Facebook the next morning. You'd be searching for them.
That's a murder about to happen. I would never bare knuckle fight fucking Vanderlei Silva if my life
If you
depended.
watch bare knuckle boxing though, because I watch almost all of them.
I watched the Paulie Artem.
Less violent than actual actual boxing.
No, because you're gonna break your hand easily.
Break your hand, and people. It looks sometimes worse than it is because the cuts. Those are usually the lighter guys. Only a couple times I've seen clean knockouts on it, like clean knockouts. You know, so it's not. I think like when I saw Hector Lombard, I'm like, he's gonna murder people, right?
He's in that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he won his fight, but it wasn't as brutally as as like you'd think. It's when you get those guys who are like the good old boys, like on the undercard, that's when you see crazy knockouts. When it's like this guy is fighting over like the fucking Dairy Mart or something,
We should start our own promotion. Call it the Smoker League, and just do it in like
Marina
a strip club
Marina
parking
would love
lots.
that.
Yeah, give me the belt.
We'll have all the events in strip club parking lots.
Oh my God, I fought a stripper one time.
Straka, that thing that I wanted to sell, that fucking, fucking. So I have an idea for a show, right? It's called "So You Think You're a Tough Guy." I drive around in a truck, and there's an octagon in the back of the truck with like Tank Abbott or Don Fry, somebody and then there's a ring girl, and you go to like Hooters. All these guys are like, I could fuck that guy up. You could sign up to fight the person, right? But it would be staged. People would know, whatever. And then you'd interview like their girlfriend.
Just make it a grappling match, so you don't have to deal with any shit. Say you want to grapple Tank Abbott.
So Straka sees this and goes, dude, we could sell this, right? So we get a meeting with this guy, right?
Oh God.
So we pitch it, and I'm excited because Straka, to me, I hold him on the highest regard. I used to watch him, and he's very as down to earth as you think. Him taking a shit during the thing, he actually is very connected in LA. So we get the meeting. The guy goes, I like the idea, but we're not gonna have fighting. We're gonna have the fighters cook and do a cooking show. We're like, it was. Like what? Like what about the fighting? He goes, yeah, we're just not gonna have fighting in it.
It's like, you ever see fucking Guy Fieri in a kitchen, bro?
Completely new idea.
Well, but what about the guys? Yeah, we don't want to have fighting. We want to have the guys like do poetry. We're like, what the fuck? Then Straka calls me up. He's like, "Sorry about that." I'm like, "All right, it's okay. We'll sell it."
And you know,
Dude,
he
that
he
guy,
knew exactly he
those
knew what the concept
executives.
he knew exactly what the concept was going in. You know, that happened to me at Netflix too. You're not going to believe this shit. They asked me to produce to develop a show. It was called World Fight Club, and it was
How
just
far did you
like,
get in the pitch? Like, was it like you were face to face, ready
yeah,
to
face to
fucking?
face. We were in a meeting with like 4 or 5 different Netflix guys and my producing partner at Kinetic Content out of Santa Monica, or out of Century City now. But anyhow, we go in there. Netflix literally asked for this show. We get in there, we show them with the sizzle reel. I have the fucking deck in front of them, and they're like, "Well, you know what? We already have something like this in concept. Do you have anything else?" And I go, "Dude, I came to LA from New York because you specifically asked me for this show. And now you're telling me you have something?" And by the way, they did. They had something in the pipeline with Frank Grillo, and
Yep.
it was almost the
Fight
exact
World.
same
I
show.
was
Oh
just
yeah,
gonna say.
Fight World.
It was almost the exact same show, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if they had it or if they were thinking about it and they stole my idea, but I was fucking pissed, man. Fucking
Yeah.
LA, fuck LA, dude.
No, it's ridiculous. It's like I remember one time I think it was like Dane Cooks had a pilot and Robert Kelly auditioned for it, and to play
like
Robert
Bobby.
Kelly, and he
Yeah.
didn't get the part as Robert Kelly.
Oh my God.
But he was Robert Kelly.
He was Robert Kelly. You know how I got to know Bobby Kelly? He had a show on Sirius, which was right next door to Fox. But whenever I would go to Mandalay for the Mandalay Bay for UFC fights, he and Jimmy Norton would always be at my favorite restaurant. You know, Strip Steak.
Yeah.
So I used to go to Strip Steak every time there was a fight at Mandalay Bay Event Center. After the fight, I'd sit at the bar. I usually just gawk at all the beautiful waitresses. But inevitably, Jimmy and fucking Bobby would come in there, and Bobby's like, "Hey, aren't you Straka?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I'm working. I'm next to you in Sirius." We became friends after that. He's a great guy. Really like that guy.
I used to play when I first started doing comedy 22 years ago. I used to play basketball. I used to go to the Comedy Cellar, like watch all the comics every night, and they'd be like, "Hey, come play basketball with us." It'd be me, Colin Quinn, who was great, Patrice O'Neal.
He's great.
Patrice O'Neal, who was like the hardest person to guard ever. It was Pete Corielli, who was a really good basketball player. Jim Norton would play, Keith Robinson, all these like guys, and they call me Open Mike. That was my name when I played. But I wasn't better than them, but I was 20, so I was like I could go. You know, they couldn't believe I would go. But I remember one time Steve Marshall, who's a really funny comic, was there, and we went to this playground at like 3 a.m, and Kevin Hart would play. Kevin Hart, if he was bigger, could have been a Division I basketball player.
He's good in those celebrity games.
He would kill everybody. I used to have to guard him. He was so good, and you're just like, fuck. And he's so competitive, you know. Like Kevin Hart would come, and I remember Steve Marshall was like, there was like a bunch of people playing there. They looked a little sketchy, and he goes, "What are we gonna do if these guys want to fight us? Whip out our tape recorders, right?" And then Jim Norton goes, "Press play, they'll run." That was like that was a brilliant line. I was like, holy shit. Jim Norton was on a different level. I mean, he's always been funny, but back then when like uncensored Jim Norton, like I think he was living with his parents at the time in Staten Island. He was like the angriest fucking guy. Like he had no money. And
well, the poor guy's ugly as sin too.
Yeah, and bombs would go off in that crowd. It was like pow, pow, pow. I mean, he was like, it was. I've never seen anyone kill like Jim Norton back in the day, and
he was probably on a lot of shit, right? I think I remember hearing him on Rogan. He was just fucked up on like drugs and doing crazy shit.
He would just be like Survivor just came out, you know, like the first TV show, and he's like, fuck those people. They should give the kangaroo AIDS and have them chase around people on the island. Say the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. Like how he wanted to use like, I don't know, Rosie O'Donnell's like head as a fucking golf ball. I mean, it was just like one thing after another. And you're just like, oh my God. But it was,
he's a funny dude.
Like Sinbad always said, like, you're funniest when you're riding the bus.
Yep.
Because, you know, at that point, Norton was riding the bus, and he's still hilarious, but not as angry. Like I think he's like a little happier now, you know.
I had to do a roast for one of my buddies' birthday parties, and it had a bunch of people New York media people mostly. And I was nasty. I was crude and I was rude and I said the C word a couple times and I busted everybody. And the guy whose party it was, he was so pissed off at me, right? I mean, he was fucking furious. He's like, my fucking mother's here, man. I can't believe you said half the shit you said. I go, it's a fucking roast. That's what we're supposed to do. Well,
Yeah.
you reminded me because Colin Quinn was in the audience, and Colin Quinn comes up to me. He goes, Straka, you were the funniest dude up here tonight. He's like, what the fuck? And I said, thank you very much. He goes, no, seriously, you were actually really good. I was like, whew. But my friends were so mad at me because God forbid I offended it. Because I offended everybody. But I thought that was what you're supposed to do at a roast.
Dude, Colin Quinn.
Must be a mild roast.
Colin
Wow.
Quinn.
They should have given me the memo.
Colin Quinn back in the day would like bomb every other show, and this is when he was on Saturday Night Live, you know. But he was so funny, like that. Like it didn't matter, you know. He's just one of those dudes that just like he's so underappreciated as a comic.
Dude, did you see his HBO show that was a history of the world or something like that? I forgot what the name of it was, or it was like a reimagining of American history. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So well written and just he's very thoughtful. And I think, he's a throwback to like a George Carlin where, he's thoughtful in his comedy. He's not just, rattling off jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Colin, he's next level.
Dude, I don't know how you do it, Adam. That's a tough, you think MMA fighting is tough, man. Comedy is fucking right up there.
Well, the hard part about comedy is like, it's not just about comedy. I almost feel like Colby Covington in that regard, where like the actual art of comedy becomes the easiest thing about it in a lot of ways, because like, okay, I got to make an audience laugh. Like that I can do, I've been doing it for long enough that I can figure out, how to do. It's now like, you can't just become a comic. When I started out, it was like, you had a VHS tape and you sent it to a comedy club and then you bothered them and then you got booked or you didn't. But now it's like, oh, well, what are your Twitter followers like? What's your Instagram followers? What's your podcast like? Have you done Joe Rogan's podcast? What's your management like? So it's like all this other shit that has nothing to do with stand-up comedy, And that's the hardest part about it, is that you're like why is the art becoming the easiest thing? It should almost be like the opposite.
We're in a huge transition stage with now. I like how people say Netflix is TV and podcast is radio. It's like, it's still new to hear that. People think terrestrial, hey, morning zoo is still radio. People think like CBS News on cable is TV still. It's like Netflix and podcast.
I used to go to clubs in like West Virginia, right? And I used to do this club in West Virginia, and I would do the radio. And if you were good on the radio, which I pretty was, 'cause I have quick punchlines. I do like 10 minutes of just like blitz with 25 jokes, and I would get 100 people would show up extra because of the radio, Wow. Now you do the radio, like one person shows up. You could be the funniest person ever.
Yep.
Nobody listens to the fucking radio in the morning,
Nobody does.
And podcasting is hard because like I do a podcast, MMA Roasted, we get like thousands of people per podcast. I mean, we don't get like hundreds of thousands, but we get a good number. But they're in England, they're in Canada, they're in Australia.
Right.
So I do really good on Fight Week in Vegas on UFC.
It's coming though, brother. You're too good not to be kept down. I'm telling you, like you're gonna get that fucking. You're too smart, too fast, and you're from Long Island.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But that's what kind of makes it. That's the hard part, Straka, is that like, and also people think if like they haven't heard of you, it means you're not good. They go, oh, if you're so good, how come you're not on? And you're like, dude, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, I used to read every biography of every actor ever, because I wanted to be an actor when I was younger. And it got to the point where Rosie O'Donnell was starring in Grease on Broadway. And I just think to myself, it used to be back in the day, you couldn't become a movie star until you were a Broadway star. Like they picked the best of the best and put them in movies. Now you can't be a Broadway star unless you fucking had a hit movie. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are.
Yeah,
and it's just totally like you said. It's become about
Brian.
How many tickets can you sell? That's what it's all about. Not how good you are, not how good of a show you. How many tickets can you sell? How many drinks can you sell in my club?
I know, which is crazy. But I mean, look, you know, in the end, it like you know, you look at people like Ray Romano, or who took you know, doing it 20 years before he made it, or Dangerfield, who was like selling aluminum roofing door to door, like while he's on the Tonight Show, you know. And you look at like Seinfeld, and you know, when these guys finally hit, all of a sudden they have like a wealth of material versus people that hit too early. And then all of a sudden they get wrung in that, like, oh, you know, the Levity management company, like they'll sign you at 22 and they'll throw you out to like audition for 100 things. And if you don't get it, like I was in acting class with Bill Burr, like 18 years ago. I was in acting with Bill Burr, and Bill Burr did a scene. It was really good. And I was there when the casting director was like, she taught the class. She's like, how come I never heard of you before? And he was like, well, I just booked this thing called Townies with Molly Ringwald, and they flew me out to LA, and I went and auditioned for like 100 things, and I didn't get anything. And then I was in LA for 3 years, nothing happened. I moved back. I have no manager, I have no agent, and my goal is to do the Apollo. And that's where he was in his life. And that was that. And now you look at Bill Burr, and he's the biggest comic in the world. So you go, okay, and that's from hard work. You know, it wasn't like Bill Burr didn't just, no manager was like, hey, you know, will you book this person and also throw in Bill Burr? You know, it was like Bill Burr did it all himself. So to me, that's like super inspirational, and just put my head down and keep doing it, because I saw it firsthand. It wasn't like this isn't a story that I heard from a friend who heard from a friend, you know. I actually was there with Bill Burr. It was like me and like 8 people in this acting class. It was crazy.
Marina, who's your favorite comedians? Like the people who use the mic, like stand-up comedians, like who make people laugh?
I don't know. When I was younger, I used to love Dane Cook, but I don't think he really does anything any now. And I probably don't watch as much as like I usually like only listen to it when I'm driving. I turn on like the comedy station, like when I'm driving to South Carolina and stuff, and listen to it. But yeah, I like Kevin Hart and stuff like that, just like the normal big names.
Dane Cook was awesome. He was on top of the world. I think he did Rough Around the Edges and MSG, and I think his father passed away. And it was just like, I hope he makes a big comeback. I saw that he was doing radio spots last year.
He's still at the Laugh Factory every night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is he still using the big words? He'll be like, hey, look at the ladder, or like the way he emphasizes words is the best.
He doesn't do as much physical as he did back then. I mean, back then when I first moved to LA, I went to a comedy club and there was like 6 people there, and I was ready to move back to New York. And I go across the street, a place called Dublin's, and Dane Cook was on stage, and every hot chick in Orange County was there to see him. It was packed wall to wall, and he was doing the craziest shit. Like he put his dick between his legs, started running around the stage, like just like what the, and it was murder. It was murder, you know. And then yeah, me and Dane, we became pretty good friends. We go hiking a lot, and you know, Dane's a nice guy. He's an introvert. Like he's not like, who he is on stage is not who he is off stage. Like, he's very super quiet to himself, you know.
Adam, you reminded me of a story when you were talking about the basketball games with the celebrities and the comics.
I thought you were going to tell us a story about hiking.
So when I was in about 1993, I was in a show called Tony and Tina's Wedding.
Yeah.
And we used to do stunt casting. So with Rob Camilletti, remember Cher's boyfriend, the Bagel Boy? He played Tony for a couple months, and you know, we would stunt cast the lead. I played Johnny, Tony's little brother. And we had this kid who came in to play the best man, which was a drug dealer. He would sell drugs in the bathrooms to all like the audience members. It was hilarious. But this kid was, I'm not going to mention his name because I don't think he would want me to, but his father was a famous actor. And this kid came in and so we were in LA. I was staying at Camilletti's house, and it was a couple guys from the show. And we called this kid who lives in LA, and he's like, hey, I'm playing volleyball. Why don't you guys come down to Venice Beach and join us for a volleyball game? So we all pile in Camilletti's car. We go down to Venice Beach. We go on a beach, and we were playing volleyball against fucking Van Halen. It was David Lee Roth, Alex Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen.
No way.
Oh my God. The bass player, I'm drawing a blank on his name. It was unbelievable. And I'm like, Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was out there for pilot season. I was auditioning. I auditioned for something called Sons of Thunder, and it was a spinoff to Walker Texas Ranger.
Wow.
And I was a Taekwondo champion back then. So me and Chuck Norris were like auditioning for Leslie Moonves, at CBS, and then that didn't go anywhere. That went well. It was a good audition for me, actually. It got me an audition to play Robin in Batman and Robin. I went out and met Mally Finn at Warner Brothers because Les Moonves made a call. But boy, talk about falling from grace. Did you hear Andy Lack just got fired? Andy Lack was the president of NBC News, and I worked with Andy Lack way back in the 90s. I answered his phone.
So were you in Tony Hughes' wedding with Susanna Melendez?
Yeah, Susanna's a good friend of mine.
Because I was in Birdie's bachelorette party.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Didn't Mark Nasser have something to do with that too?
Yeah. I was exactly Mark. Yeah, I was. Susanna made me. It was basically so you guys don't get bored, but so they did a spinoff at the Culture Club of Tony and Tina's wedding, but it was a bachelorette party, and it was a thing where you didn't know who was in the bachelorette party, and then like the groom was one of the strippers was the groom, and then they got into a fight and yada yada. Susanna, who was Stuttering John's ex-wife, Stuttering John from his Howard Stern show, made me audition for her by giving her a lap dance on the street. Her and Denise, and then my character was Woody the Shop Boy, right? And I was in my 20s. I was all fucking tan. I was like ripped back then, and I had to go around giving shots to girls. That was my job, and it said Woody, and with a pink headband and glitter everywhere, and giving. I ended up making like thousands of dollars a night because I was like, getting paid to give lap dances, but with my jeans on, and I put the money in my socks and my things. But it was clearly, it was so humiliating. But it was also the best job I ever had in my entire life. I gotta say, I got paid in singles. I definitely felt it was crazy.
Shit, man, I give some lap dances for money.
Yeah, but the problem was all Bridge and Tunnel. It was all Jersey kids and Staten Island guys. And they'd be like, yo, Woody, you freaking fag, or like try to, like, girls would get drunk, try to steal my pink headband. But I was making so much money for the club that I go like this, and then the bouncer would throw the fucking jabroni out.
That's awesome.
I was like,
dude, drunk, aggressive girls is like one of the worst things in the world.
Dude, I haven't seen Denise in a long time. I saw Susanna recently, but I haven't seen Denise.
She's still the nun. She's playing the nun.
Years.
She's on tour as like the nun.
Oh, really? They're still doing that show? I didn't even know it.
Yeah, me and Denise like dated for a little bit. She was
Does that mean you guys grab food together?
Yes, of course. It was good times. But at the time I was doing like 10 shots a night. Here's the thing.
It's like Straka's quarantine diet.
Drunk women were not good at business, right? Because they'd come up to be like, "Hey, will you do it? Will you?" They're like, "We want to buy the Bachelorette a shot, right?" Which was like $5. So I'd be like, "All right, here's the deal. Everyone, you guys do a shot. I'll give her for free." Okay. So I'd make like $80 off the fucking thing, right? Then I would take the shot and I would hold it by my crotch, and girls would get on their knees and do one, right? Or I would put it in my mouth to their mouth. Oh, dude, it was so much fun.
You little slut, Adam.
I was the biggest slut.
Adam, when I was in that show, so if people don't know, Marina and Ike, the show, just like Birdie's bachelorette party, you interact with the audience and you act like they're part of the wedding, like they're family. They're either Tony's side or Tina's side. And, you go around from table to table and you do improv and you talk to everybody. So it was like shooting fish in a barrel, though. Like every night I would hook up with a chick, every single night. It got to the point where I would wake up in the morning and I'd be in some hotel, like not knowing where the fuck I am. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I got to stop doing this. So there was this girl who came in and it was her birthday. So she, after the show, she's like, hey, you were in the show, right? There was a bar right downstairs. I'm like, yeah. So then next thing you know, I'm in her hotel room. A year later goes by and I'm sitting on the dais table and I'm just scanning the audience for girls to look at. And I catch this woman's eye and she looks at me and she goes, shh. And I noticed, oh my God, that's the girl from last year. It's her birthday again, but now she's with a guy. It was hilarious. But that's what I knew, though, Adam. I knew. I was like, I've been in the show too long now. It's been too long. I couldn't.
I think mine came in Oklahoma on the road because when Tinder first came out, you could still do it.
Yep.
I knew my road schedule, so if I'm going to be in Oklahoma tomorrow, I'll just swipe Oklahoma. I'll go, a week early. That way, when I get there, I'll have dates. Well, the one girl told I went back to this girl's house after a show, and I go, "Oh, this is a nice remote. That's to the TV." She's like, "No, it's for my asshole." She had a remote control asshole. She said when she was younger, she had like an accident where her asshole fell out, right? And now she needed a remote for it. I'm not kidding. I've never seen this since, right? But I was like, this needs to stop. Because I was like, oh, does it work for the garage too? She's like, no, like it tightens up her butt. And I couldn't believe it. I know people are like, well, did you bang her in the butt? No, I wasn't going to test that theory, but she really did have a remote. Her asshole fell out from like gymnastics.
It's true though. After a while, I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, "You're not hooking up tonight. You are not going to hook up tonight." And then I'd walk out into the audience. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am."
Yeah, dude, it gets addicting. Marina, how many dudes have you slept with?
Now that's a professional segue.
I can use one hand to count on mine. So
good.
One?
Yeah.
You been with one guy your whole life?
No, she said she can count on one hand.
One hand.
Oh, I was gonna say he's 1 for 1 then. You got one guy, one kid. I was like, that's pretty good.
I'm satisfied. I got all I need now.
Good for you.
No, are you married?
No. I'm in a relationship.
Okay, but the baby that you have is with the guy you're with?
No.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
Okay. Yeah.
First guy's in jail?
Wait, first guy's in jail? No. Oh.
No, he's
So you're a single mom / fighter.
Yeah.
His name is Randy Couture.
Oh, you're like a Lifetime movie.
If that was the case, I would be getting child support.
Wow. All right, look at you.
That is a Lifetime movie waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Adam, you can direct it.
100%. The hot.
Oh my gosh.
I'll play Frank Grillo.
Sounds like it could be an LMN movie.
My wife just discovered Lifetime while in quarantine. She's
God.
like the stepmother, like who deletes the daughter's emails and sleeping with the dad, and the dad's an idiot.
I love those movies.
Oh
I'll play the guy with the remote control asshole.
I'll play Woody the Shop Boy.
Yeah.
I think the joke's on you, Adam. I think she literally just had a fleshlight in her pants and didn't tell you.
Wow.
I think that's all it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? You've done that too? Oh.
All right, Straka, this is the perfect time for our sponsor.
Sponsored by Pornhub.
Yeah.
I reached out to them on Twitter.
I know. I saw that.
By the way, how does a guy get away with not paying child support? Isn't that like illegal?
I let him have about shared custody of her. So since we have her equally, there's no reason for him to pay because we have her the same amount of time. So
dude, when you're a former UFC champion and you're covering PFL, you can find ways around the system.
Oh, is that really? Wait, hold on. Really? Is that?
It's back to the Randy Couture joke.
Yeah, and he's a really good baby dad. I mean, he takes care of his kid.
Oh, that's good. There you go. Well, you're a hot 24-year-old mom. Now, do you have another job, a day job, or?
No.
You're a full-time fighter?
Yeah, my significant other, he's a farrier, so he makes good money.
Well, Marina, while you're waiting this out at home, you could still have fun betting at BetOnline.ag. There's no NBA, MLB, NHL, or MLB.
No, I don't have money.
Did I say MLB already?
Well, the best thing is you can bet on the cards that are coming up this weekend on BetOnline.ag,
Yeah,
which I did. I'm so excited. And I never bet fights. Adam, do you ever bet fights?
No, because it ruins the whole experience for me.
Yeah.
I only bet when I'm in Vegas and then when I'm going to the fight. And I'm a sucker. I take the fucking 80 fight parlay and then I get like 9 out of 10 right. And then I beat myself up the entire time for picking that one fight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, and then I can't bet against friends. It's like, yeah.
Well, you could bet on the fighting, esports, which is video games. They've been somebody got in trouble for betting one of the video game guys, the NASCAR drivers. He said the N-word. He's a white NASCAR driver, and I think he said the N-word on ESPN.
Oh wow.
You could bet on American Idol, Big Brother, the elections. There's a poker tournament in there.
Weather.
Yeah.
The weather.
You could bet on weather too. BetOnline.ag. BetOnline.ag. Just use promo code. What is the promo code?
I don't know, Adam. What is it? Because if you don't know, it's MyPod100.
MyPod100.
I think it's Pornhub.
How would the sponsor work? I mean, it would be cool to like interview some of the stars, but like, I mean, they would give us free memberships, but I mean, we wouldn't use those. We would just want to.
It is free already, dude. They have a quarantine free premium going on right now.
Yeah, but don't they cut you off like right before? She's like, "All right, you ready, Daddy? You ready?" And it's like Pornhub.com, MyPod 100.
No.
Right before the money shot.
Yeah.
Dude, I auditioned one time for a part. They were gonna put comics in the middle of porno for some reason, like, but not even like while it's live. Like you would just like superimpose. Like I'm like, that's the last thing people want to see when they're about to come is, hey, so where you from? like I could not think of a worse fucking idea. But like,
wait, how about MMA fighters cooking?
Yeah.
I said that guy got mad at me. Like that guy asked. Did he ask you to do that? Did he ask you to do that also?
No, I'm joking with you.
Oh, there's a guy that literally wanted me to do that.
Adam hasn't had his coffee yet. Adam, have you had your coffee yet?
No, there was a guy that asked me to do that recently. And he wanted me to make a cooking thing. And I liked the guy. And I was like fighting with my wife and I couldn't get my kid to sleep. And I was like, dude, I'm trying to save my marriage. Like fucking in the middle of the quarantine. Like I haven't left the house. My kid won't go to, she's 2. Like, I'm sorry, man.
Dude, that was like one of my favorite parts when you joined us last time. Like the kid, like from the beginning of the interview was like, "Daddy, scratching your eyes out." And then by the end, she was just like squeezing your nipple, like sleeping.
Dude, I love her to death, but she's 2 now. She's just turned, she's like gonna be 2 in August.
What do they say? Terrible.
Dude, it's worse. Terrible 2 is like putting it. Like,
oh,
she's adorable. How old is she?
She's 4.
Hi,
Wow.
Kinsley. She's camera shy.
You were like the first teen mom?
Huh?
You were a teen mom, 19?
I mean, I had my shit together, but yeah.
Had a girl.
That's awesome.
She didn't have a remote control for her asshole.
Oh my gosh, Kinsley, leave the room.
For my vagina now after having my daughter, but that's a different story.
By the way,
what's so funny?
On Twitter. I didn't know who you were till like last week, and then you pop up and you're just like going after everybody.
Oh
and
yeah,
was like
I just made a Twitter last
He was
week.
like, "Oh, Marina, wow."
Darren Till told me to get naked
use
on
very
Twitter. I
low
have a bunch
lighting.
of fans in the UK.
Wait, Darren Till said actually get naked on Twitter?
Yeah, he told me to take my clothes off, and now a bunch of UK guys are following me.
Wait, did
Tell
you
him
really
to
do
actually
it?
go for a victory in his next fight and not try to outpoint somebody and dance around the circle.
Oh, you know he never goes for the finish. He's
Ooh.
selfish.
Well, hey, you didn't get naked though for him, right?
No,
Good, don't do that. You don't need to.
no.
Do that.
He's like, "Oh,
I gotta
you're
wait- I
making
gotta
me
wait till- I gotta wait
gumballs."
till they offer me a obscene amount of money to get naked.
How much you got, Adam?
Well, in Ohio, that's like $20.
It's
All
hard.
right. That was the joke of the day. Guys, we got to wrap it up. I got to go.
All right, guys. Adam Hunter, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. I know it's early out there for you. And Marina Coffman, looking forward to your next fight.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully we can come out and cover it, even though it is going to be in Toledo.
You got to fly us out, though, now that we sponsored you.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I
That does it.
better get that Pornhub sponsorship then.
Yeah, that does it for this episode of Mavericks, UFC 249 this weekend. Enjoy the fights, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Until next time. Oh, yeah. This is the first time we got fights. Later, everybody.
Later.